are available. So there are two parts of it. First of all, you will need green electricity. Solar and wind-based electricity is certainly available. You then need to convert it to hydrogen. Electrolyzers are now getting made. The best electrolyzer that we have seen today gives you hydrogen at a total cost of $3 per kg. Now, by next year, companies like Ohmium are promising to get it to $2 per kg. But my worry is about this $2 per kg. The cost is taking into account the European and American interest cost of 3 to 4%, not the 10-11% that is prevalent in India. So $3, $2 may not be 200 rupees, finally it may be 300 rupees. So we have to worry about it. So that will give you green hydrogen. But then what do you have to do with green hydrogen? If you want to use an electric vehicle, first you have to compress it. And the compression results in a lot of losses. And then you have to transport the green hydrogen to some equivalent of petrol pump, hydrogen pumps. And that also will take a lot of energy. So finally a liquid hydrogen or a compressed hydrogen will be available at petrol pumps. And then you need to put it into vehicles, which probably they can load it. Then you will need a fuel cell. The final thing, you have to convert it back to electricity. And today the fuel cells are available, except they are expensive. My own estimate, and this is an estimate, if you take today's electrolyzer, compression, transport, and today's fuel cell with Indian interest rate of 10%, the total cost of electricity will be 100 rupees per kilowatt hour. Remember, with solar, it is 2 rupees. When I put a battery and put it inside the battery, it becomes 10 rupees per kilowatt hour. But hydrogen today is 100 rupees per kilowatt hour. Where is it going to move? My feeling is 30 to 35 rupees per kilowatt hour will probably get it in the next 3 to 4 years. But this will then compete with petrol cost, but still very expensive as compared to electric. So that's a technology question, and I have given you the answer to the best of my ability. Yes.
Yeah, the report says that South India leads the EV sales in the country. How are we on the safety aspect of it, sir?
How are we in?
Safety aspect of EV.
I think electric vehicles are very safe today. I mean, accidents can happen, problem can take place with petrol. Remember, petrol vehicles are now there for 80 years. So yes, there are you will get occasional fire in batteries, but very, very occasional. Today it is safe. I've been driving electric vehicles for 8 to 10 years without any fear. And that's all I can say.
And what sort of infrastructure do you think the Tamil Nadu needs with respect to EV vehicles? Like what?
I think only the charger infrastructure. That's all. The rest is ready. Yeah, quick question.
A quick follow-up question. I would like to request you for a comment on the risk of obsolescence in this industry, because we keep hearing about completely new anode materials, new cathode materials, silicon anode, fluoride. Now when I built a completely
I think battery lives are 5 years. I'm not worried. I think any new material, etc., will take longer time to. You want to answer? No, longer time to. I don't think that. I think that obsolescence is not an issue. We'll keep changing battery will keep evolving. The original battery, today even when you use NMC, we are starting to use 811, and we are using the anodes with silica. So those things will keep happening. In fact, you won't even know that is happening. A user will not even know. Yes, your question.
Okay.
Slowly.
How are the people are welcoming the EV vehicles, like the electronic vehicles in India compared to foreign, and what will be the future of it in India?
See, my feeling in 7-8 years, you'll see practically no new petrol vehicle. It will be completely electric vehicle. Why will it benefit? In the end, it will cost us less to drive. And it will be safer and nicer vehicles, will not pollute. And we will not require imported oil. All these will benefit India.
But still the people are being scared about getting EV vehicles because there are many news that
I think all these are myths propagated by petrol engine promoters. Frankly speaking, when petrol vehicle came in 1940s and 50s, they are far more dangerous than any electric vehicles today.
Thank you, sir.
This rate is highest in China, followed by Europe, and then followed by America. In India, the percentage of growth is approximately 100%. So the total registrations are less, but they are growing. As Sir said, even China had accidents when they introduced it. So it would happen, it's a huge industry.
Yeah, but I think it's increasingly becoming safe, and it will now accelerate. Next 5 to 7 years, you will see the difference. I think any other question? Show, I can't tell.
Amazing show. We've got about 45 exhibitors. We are expecting 3,000 people over a period of 2 days, which is today and tomorrow. We've got brilliant associates. We've got about 100 associations and sponsors that we've been working with. So it's very accelerating. I would request all of you, if you could please go visit our stalls as well, interact with those people. So it's been an amazing, hours since morning. And yes, so we are trying to promote 3 things through our effort. One is innovation. So we want to reward and recognize innovation which is happening throughout. You would see, even a wireless charging, is something which is in there, it's still not patented, but it exists. So still a prototype is going on. So, technology like that. Second, we want to create a community and let them collaborate with each other. So there are very less platforms wherein people can share knowledge or share information which is coming from the right resource. And third is commerce. That is something like the lady was asking whether the EV acceptance rate is there in India or not. It's growing. But the commerce will happen only if a passenger, the one who's looking forward to drive a car, will buy that. So all this is actually for that he comes forward and accept EV vehicle as a culture. So that's a phenomena that we are working towards, and that's the effort that we've done. Anything for Sir?
2 months, 2 global OEMs have entered the state of Tamil Nadu. I don't think anywhere in the world 2 greenfield projects would have been announced back to back by 2 OEMs. The first one is Tata Motors, where for the first time a premium car will be manufactured in India, the Jaguar Land Rover, which is a matter of pride not just for the state but for the whole country, that the entire, we have moved up the value chain on how we do manufacturing. The second is a Vietnamese company, VinFast. I will come to the significance of why these 2 global OEMs or the announcements of investments are very, very critical for the state and the country a little later. The second vertical that the guidance looks at are those companies in India but not in Tamil Nadu currently, which traditionally will include your large Indian corporate houses. We have not had a fair bit of presence of those. The classic example being Tamil Nadu never had a large presence of the Tata Group, but over the last 3 years, we have got 3 major arms of Tata expanding into the state of Tamil Nadu. Tata Power for solar photovoltaic manufacturing, Tata Electronics for the Apple iPhone, the massive plant that's coming up in Hosur area, which is likely to employ 40,000 people, one of the biggest electronics manufacturing plants that's coming up in the country. And third, Tata Motors. Though we are the auto capital, somehow Tatas have been eluding us for a while, and we have managed to anchor the company little away from Chennai in a place called Ranipet. Third, probably the most important category that we look at are those companies which have trusted the state, trusted the government, trusted the beautiful state of Tamil Nadu, have been investing, reinvesting and continue to grow into the state of Tamil Nadu. I think they are the most important clients. Many of you fall in that category, that you continue to have faith in the state and continue to invest in the state. So 3 buckets. One of those companies, global companies who are entering India for the first time. Those companies were currently in India but not in Tamil Nadu, and third are those within the state of Tamil Nadu. This is the bracket under which guidance Tamil Nadu looks at. Definitely as far as news value is concerned, the first one takes up a lot of space in terms of visibility, and we've been doing extremely well on two particular sectors, which are automobile/EV and electronics. Now, where does it leave us on the EV front? Tamil Nadu government released the Tamil Nadu electric vehicle policy in March 2023. The Honourable Chief Minister, in the presence of several CEOs, launched the policy, and in the policy we had put a target of around 50,000 crores of Indian rupees was the likely investment that the policy was set to attract. And let me tell you, as we stand today, we've crossed the target. We are at 70,000 plus and more. And thanks to the Global Investors Meet, which many of you were part of, including Stellantis, many of the Hyundai signed a massive MOU of 20,000 crores of Indian rupees immediately after the launch, and then another 5,000 odd crores during the Global Investors Meet. Pretty much every global OEM continues to invest in EV and future technical innovations.
Research Director from Frost Sullivan. With reference to the report that was launched today, I would like to summarize the key findings from that. So starting from the global perspective, I would like to give some global trends that have been making its route to the Indian market as well. So some of the trends on the development or evolution of the battery technology. So we all can see that OEMs in India, they are focusing on LFP batteries now. So it was initially NMC batteries, but right now they are focusing on LFP. But even in terms of further advancement, they are looking at sodium-ion batteries and solid-state batteries as well. But that would be it would be very early to say about the adoption. But it's mainly LFP batteries which would be popular among the passenger cars. So the insights that I'm giving is all in the passenger vehicle market. So we'll have to put that as a condition. Apart from that, we can see introduction of alternative markets along with the development of the electric vehicle market. In terms of pure numbers, now what we have found out, or in our analysis, what we see is in the year 2023, from Jan to December, the total sales was close to 80 to 85,000 electric vehicles, passenger cars, which is pure battery electric vehicles. What we are estimating in 2024 is that the sales will reach close to 120,000, 120 to 130,000 electric vehicles between Jan to December. Until now, until May, it was around 40 to 50,000 vehicles were sold so far. But by end of 24, we can expect the number to settle down around 125,000 units of electric vehicles. Tata will of course maintain the leadership in terms of market share of electric vehicles, and we see other OEMs, especially BYD, again making its way among the top. It's already there in the top 5, but we see some of the other OEMs as well. If we talk about the long-term scenario, we saw the previous presentations where we were talking about the electric vehicle penetration, especially passenger cars. According to the report, what we have found out is that the electric vehicle penetration will reach close to 10 to 15%. In the optimistic scenario, it will be between 15 to 20%. So again, talking about the 30% milestone that has been set by the government. In most of the cases in all the global markets, we have seen that any kind of official announcements is very difficult to achieve 100% of that. And in the historic period, we have seen, including China, it has only achieved about 50 to 60% of what was actually announced. And that's again, when we are talking about the practicality of the market. So according to the numbers, we are estimating by 2030, the passenger cars, pure battery electrics, would be somewhere around 700,000 to 1.1 million units by 2030, which will surpass the 10 to 10% penetration, and it will be somewhere between 10 to 15% penetration by 2030. So that's for the numbers. Another point, which is the key pointers here, which was again presented earlier in other reports, is the localization of components. Currently, the localization of the electric vehicle, specifically passenger car, it is close to, what we found out is close to 20 to 30%. But what we see in the future, by 2030, what we are estimating is that 60 to 70% of localization would be achieved in terms of electric vehicle components. To talk about some of the key components, of course, battery will still remain one of the components on the vehicle, which would still be 50% localization, but the highest amount of localization would be achieved in components such as the AC charging inlet, or the DC-DC converter, the BMS system, the traction motors and controllers. So some of the other important components would also reach about 60 to 70% localization when it comes to electric vehicles, which in turn will drive the prices down for electric vehicles. Now, other findings in terms of charging infrastructure, if we talk about charging infrastructure, another important aspect which supports the electric vehicle market. If we look at the current scenario, there are about officially 13,000 charging points which have been subsidized by the through the FAME 2 initiative. This number again not very large, but looking at the current EV park of electric vehicles, considering last 5 years from 2016 onwards, from 2018 onwards, there are about 350 to 400,000 electric vehicles on road currently operating, if you put all of them together. Now, if you look at the global ratio between location to connectors, so we see that currently in India there are about 3 to 4 connectors at a single location. So one charging station has an average of 2 to 3, 2 to 4 connectors. This average will go up in future. So we can say it would be the safer situation when we say one location hosting about 7 to 8 charging points, which would cater to more number of vehicles. And what we call an ideal scenario for calling it a robust charging infrastructure is one location or one charging connector serving a minimum of 5 to 6 electric vehicles. That's what we call an ideal scenario to call it robust charging infrastructure. The global ratio right now, the global average in China is one charging point is serving around 10 to 12 electric vehicles that are there on road, and they are significantly decreasing it year on year. The global average is about 15 electric vehicles. One connector is serving about 15 electric vehicles, but of course they have to increase the speed of installation. An ideal scenario we could call between one connector serving about 5 to 8 electric vehicles. That's about the summary of the report. I think the summary would be available with the organizers. You can take a copy from them, and also the report will be available on our portal of Frost Sullivan from next week onwards for download and purchase. With that, I would like to conclude the summary. Thank you.